Reaction coming fast and furious to the Attorney General recusing himself from the probe into Russian meddling in our election. I'm joined by Senator Rand Paul, Republican from the great state of Kentucky and member of the Foreign Relations Committee. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Greta. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. All right, which team are you on? Team recusal, team resignation, or team let's just let it play out some more?
You know, I don't claim to have any particular insight into this. I do know that people forgetting about whether or not they have met an ambassador seems to be running on both sides of the aisle. We had one senator on the other side of the aisle today said, absolutely, I have never met the Russian ambassador, only to find that their Twitter feed indicates that they have met the Russian ambassador. So I don't know. I tend to give the benefit of the doubt when, he was asked about whether the campaign was involved with the Russians. I think he was thinking about somehow some group of Russians and wasn't thinking about the fact that as a senator, he had obviously met the Russian ambassador. So I think there's a possibility that he really did try to answer truthfully, but was just caught up in thinking about the question in one way and not another.
Is recusal then, in your mind, a good idea? I take it that if you thought that he was lying, you'd want him to resign. But is recusal the appropriate remedy in your mind at this point, or not at all? Should he be in charge of the investigation?
Well, I think that's what he said, is he'll recuse him if it affects him somehow. I think that for a lot of us, we're unclear exactly, someone needs to indicate what laws are broken and what we're investigating. I think law enforcement should investigate wrongdoing or law breaking, wherever it is. But I think sometimes we forget that we ought to actually examine what laws are broken before we get too carried away with ourselves. And I think that would probably be good for all of us, particularly with the partisan rancor sort of at such a high level now, that I think a lot of this is about anger over still losing the election.
All right, let me turn now to another issue, another story that broke today, and this one involved you. This morning, you were physically blocked from a room in the U.S. Capitol where House Republicans may have been keeping a draft of their Obamacare replacement bill. It was a rather dramatic scene, and for the viewers, I just want to play some of what you told reporters right afterwards.
I think there's a bill in there, but I asked for the copy of the bill, and I'm being told I can't have a copy of the bill. It's the secret office for the secret bill.
All right, where were you?
It was in the basement of the Capitol, and there were news reports yesterday evening and this morning that the Obamacare repeal bill was available to only committee members, and I think only Republican committee members, in a basement room in the Capitol. So we showed up, and we asked to have a copy of the bill, and we were told we couldn't have a copy. And then later on, mysteriously, everyone inside the room disappeared, and there was no bill. But I still believe that there were people in that room, and they were debating the bill and reviewing the bill, and I'll bet you there was a hard copy of that bill in there until we asked for it. But that's not the way you should legislate. Look, Republicans, we complained about Democrats for 6 years and said they wanted to pass it, and then we could see what was in it after they passed it. And we all complained, I think justifiably so. So I don't want to be part of a process that keeps it now from Republicans, and then we're going to repeal it in the same fashion where we don't get to adequately read it. Is the CBO going to score it? How much is it going to cost? What's involved? In my state, it's illegal to meet behind closed doors and not reveal a bill to people. It should be out in the open.
All right, and is it your understanding that it's the completed bill, or was the room where people were still negotiating, how to draft this bill?
No, there's mostly a bill done. Have they decided everything that's going to be in it? No, they've verbally told us most of the aspects. They've told us some of the costs, so I'm pretty sure CBO has looked at it. They may not have a final score, but I think CBO has looked at it. But the thing is, if they've already drafted the language, I'm guessing it's several hundred pages long, and I'm guessing they're keeping it in secret because they know
Who's they?
I'd probably say House leadership. That's really who's in charge.
And does that mean the Speaker of the House is hiding the bill in the basement of the Capitol, and when you go look for it, he takes it and hides it under his desk?
Well, we're actually asking people tonight on Twitter to look for it in their hometown. And if they see a place where legislators might be meeting to craft the secret bill, to notify us so we can send people there to see if they're actually building the bill in your hometown. No, seriously, we think that they are working on the bill, but behind closed doors. It's mostly completed. We're told we're getting it next week, but we're not allowed to really look at it. And I think that's a mistake. And for some of us conservatives, we think we're getting back a lot of things that were in Obamacare. We're going to get a Cadillac tax, we're going to get an individual mandate, and we're going to get a new entitlement program. Those are things that some of us think shouldn't be done at the federal level.
And the complaint really was among the Republicans back in 2009 is that nobody got to read the bill ahead of time. So I take it you just want to get an advanced reading of an almost completed bill, but they, whoever the they are, won't let you do it.
Well, we're being told all of the details in the bill. We just can't see it. And here's the thing. The only written explanation I've seen in the bill came from a news organization. So it was leaked to a news organization, and so other people have it, but we don't have it. And then they said, well, that's not necessarily it. We have the copy that the committee can look at, and then we get there, and poof, the bill disappeared again. That's a problem. We need to have it all out in the open.
Have you made a quick call to Speaker Ryan and say, where's this bill? Where's this House bill for the Republicans?
I think he's getting the message that it probably wasn't good public relations to have it secretly available to only a few people. I'm hoping that the result of this is a serious one, and that is that we all get to read the bill very shortly. What I don't want to get is a bill where there's 24 hours to read a 1,000-page bill, and I would tell you that that's the norm around here for both parties, Republican and Democrat, is to shove a bill out there, take it or leave it, and I'm just saying I'm not taking it. I'm just not going to take it, whatever's shoved down the pipeline. I want to debate it. I was elected. I want to be part of legislating it, amending it, and I'm not just going to be told take it or leave it. And I think I'm not alone, so this battle's not over.
Senator, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thanks, Greta.
Well, the Attorney General recused